Hey, 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 my name's Izzy. This is Rolling Virtual Cards coming at you with another Magic the Gathering video talking about the red cards from Modern Horizons 3. Starting with one of my favorite cards from the set, Aether Revolt. 2 and 2 red for an enchantment. Revolt. As long as a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, if a source you control will deal non-combat damage to your opponent and a permanent an opponent or a permanent opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. Whenever you get one or more energy, Aether Revolt deals that much damage to any target. So, what is this doing? Why is it seeing play? What's the point? Energy decks. That's the whole point. As long as you can get a lot of energy, you can just dome your opponent. And as long as you could sacrifice a creature or a permanent on your turn, whatever damage you dealt is 2 more. So as long as you can gain like 20 energy in a turn, you win the game. And that was the joke. We always had the joke that if you could gain 20 energy in one turn, you win the game. If there was a card like that, well, we got the card. Okay? We got the card. People are trying to break it. I love it. I love the concept. It's really fun. It's also a win con for the card for energy in commander decks, which I like because it's just a way to just go, oh yeah, let's just what am I doing on my turn? I'm just gonna gain 10 energy. Well, now I can deal 10 energy damage to an opponent. But also, if you could sacrifice like a token, like a food token or a treasure or a clue, that triggers its effect. And since you're not gaining energy, usually like 20 energy at once, you're going like 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 5. Like 2 energy here, 3 energy here, 2 energy there. Each one of those is like, 2 damage. So actually, it's 4 damage. 3 damage. Actually, it's 5 damage. 2 damage. Actually, it's 4 damage. So it starts, that's 6 extra damage because of its vault effect. You start getting that, and you just start to see the whole thing crumble upon itself, like build up, and just end your opponent's life. And Amped Raptor goes right with it. 1 in a black for a 2/1 dinosaur. First strike. When it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. Then you may cast it. If you cast it from your hand, exile cards from the top of your library to exile a non-land card. You may cast that card by paying an amount of energy equal to its mana value rather than paying its mana cost. So you can use these, get a 2-drop. But, like, you can grab Aether Revolt as long as you had 2 more energy, which you probably do. So Amped Raptor is a really good card just to get the energy and to keep going. Ashling Flame Dancer is 2 and 2 red for a 4/4 Elemental Shaman. You don't lose unspent round mana as steps and phases end. This is a card, and what are they breaking with it in Modern? They're breaking a classic card. It helps break Braids. Braids is already broken. But Chameleon Upkeep, you get a red. To add a red to your mana. The idea is that you lose the mana burn. But mana burn is no longer a thing. So this, I didn't spend the red mana. Cool, I keep it. So turn 2, Brain of Fire is already great to just let you cast instant sorceries. This card comes to the field, you keep it. And it has Magecraft. So whenever you cast or copy an instant and sorcery spell, discard a card, then you may draw a card. If this is the second time this spell's ability is revolved this turn, it deals 2 damage to each opponent and each creature they control. And if it's the third time, you get 4 red, which doesn't leave. So Ashling and Braid of Fire really go together well because Braid comes down turn 2, and turn 3 you get a red, and you use it to like lightning bolt something. Turn 4 you get another red, and you use that to do a 2-drop or maybe 2 1-drops, and then you cast Ashling. Turn 5, you get 3 red from Braid of Fire, and Ashling here goes, cool, you keep that. You now have 3 more red that just stays there. And now you can use that, oh look, I got Magecraft. Let me cast with my 5 lands and my 3 extra mana. I have 7 mana on turn 5. Let me just cast some spells, or 8 mana on turn 5. Let me cast some spells here. 3 spells have been cast. Oh look, I've now wiped their field, hurt them, got some card choice, and have more mana to then use next turn. So Braids is gross. You can run multiple of them too, so that just stacks even more and really works with Ashling. I also just love it as a commander. It's a really fun commander, spell slinging wise. Cursed Mirrors, 2 in a red. I love that this is now in Modern. It's such a cool idea. 2 and a red for an artifact. Tap it, add a red. Cool, but when it enters the battlefield, you may have it become a copy of a creature on the battlefield until end of turn, except it has haste. So this is great to just get another ETB. So if you're running a good ETB deck and you just need that with a Cursed Mirror, not only ramps you, but also gives you that ETB again, which is very useful. Mostly seen played in Commander to copy Dockside, but there's going to be other cards we'll find here that really like being copied by just having that option. And even so, if you're running like a few ETB cards and this card can copy one of them, that's great. Plus a ramp. It's all about it. All of it's great, and it has haste, so you can still tap it for mana. Detectives Phoenix is 2 and a red for 2/2 Phoenix. Bestow red. Collect 6/7. So you do have to exile a total mana value of 6 or less from your graveyard. Flying haste. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 have flying haste. You may cast Detective Phoenix from your graveyard using its bestow ability. So you can constantly get this back from the graveyard to give something haste. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking like the idea is this might be useful in like the Phoenix decks where you mill yourself or you fill your graveyard up with like discard cards, and then you can go like, oh, let me get rid of these cards and I'll bestow this on my creature, and now he can attack right now and he's got flying. So, oh, you killed my creature. Well, I still have a 2/2 that can attack you because it's got flying and haste. So, I think there's going to be a place for this. I've thought, like, what if, like, Is It Prowess deck runs this card to just go, oh yeah, I'll just get it into my graveyard, right? And then for one and exile, like, a few cards, I can give, like, Swift Sphere a little extra mana. Or a little extra, yeah, like a little extra, like, oomph. Like, cool, I ditched my stuff into my graveyard. Let's get this guy back onto Swift Sphere or one of the other guys. They get +2/+2, have flying and haste. I bestowed it from my graveyard, so that triggers all the prowess. Like, there's some advantage there. Maybe. I don't love it, though. It's okay. I know there's going to be some deck that probably likes it, though. Flare of Duplication is 1 and 2 red for an instant. It's already banned from Historic again because it is one of the freeze instinct. But yeah, like, you may sacrifice a non-token red creature rather than pay this cost. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets with copy. This is great. You just sack Ragavan. Look, now I can copy an instant or sorcery spell. Great. It's so good in that regard. Like, I would play this card in a red deck that's running Ashling and the Braids of Fire, and then like sack the Ragavans that I'm running. That'd be so cool. And then like, cool, I can copy an instant sorcery spell, and since you copied one that triggers her twice, that's actually kind of cool. I like that. I think that's a fun spot. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, it helps with any Magecraft stuff and just a good copy stuff. Yeah, not bad. Fledgling Dragons, 2 and 2 red for a 2/2 dragon with flying, and threshold as long as 7 or more cards are in your graveyard. Fledgling Dragon gets +3/+3 and has pay a red. Fledgling Dragon gets +2/+1/+. Oh, it was a Judgment, so this is a reprint. Okay, gets +3/+3 and has red. Fledgling gets +1/+0 till end of turn. Okay, I don't like it. I think it's slow. I honestly think this card is just slow. Like, 4 for a 2/2. If you have 7 more cards, all of a sudden it's a 5/5 for 4. And it gets Fire Breathing. Maybe a red deck Rin might try it. I don't know. Furnace Hellkite is 5 and 2 black, 2 red for a 5/5 dragon with affinity for artifacts, flying, and fire breathing. Sure, like maybe an affinity deck will run it. You 2 red, here's your 5/5 with flying, and then you can just dump your red into it. Maybe like an affinity red deck wins. Galvanic Discharge is a black or a red for an instant. Choose target creature, planeswalker. You get 3 energy. Then you may have it deal an amount of. Then you may pay an amount of energy. Galvanic Discharge deals that much damage to that permanent. This is just the removal spell in the energy decks for both Pauper and Modern. You can just remove something. Oh, I got 3 energy. That's a lightning bolt to whatever creature or planeswalker you want to. Otherwise, like, oh, just do 2 damage to them. or deal more if you have more energy. So that's kind of good. And being able to gain that 3 energy with the enchantment really helps you win the game. Glimpse of Impossible. Glimpse the Impossible. I love the art. Absolutely love the art. I'm not even going to lie. That is just like so creepy. 2 in a red for a sorcery. Exile the top 3 cards to your library. You may play those cards this turn. At the beginning of your next end step, if any of those cards remain exiled, put them into your graveyard. Then create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature token for each card put into your graveyard this way. Those tokens have sacrificed this creature, add a colorless. This will see play in Pauper. Okay? Being able to go 3 deep for 3 is fine later on. And then if you just don't do anything on turn 3 with them because you don't have the mana, you just get 3 0/1s, which means next turn, when you cast your second Glimpse if possible, you get to sack 2 of them for its 2, pay 1 red, and then you have 3 red mana or 3 mana and then an extra colorless with it. And you can cast whatever you want. It's useful. I don't think it's good enough for Modern, but I think Pauper will play it. Infernal Captor is 3 in a red for a 3/3 Devil Rogue with Exploit. When this creature is the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. When it exploits a creature, gain control of target artifact or creature until end of turn. Untap that permanent. It gains haste until end of turn. I don't care for these cards. I think they're meh. But maybe Pauper will do something with it if there's like something worth stealing. All you have to do is sacrifice a creature, which isn't hard. Oh, there's my 1-drop. It's gone now. Let me steal your big guy. So like against Affinity, that might work or something. I don't know. Inventor's Axe is a red for a artifact equipment with flash. It enters the battlefield. You get 2 energy. When Inventor's Axe enters the battlefield, attached to creature control. Equip creature gets +2/+0. Equip, pay 2 energy. I like that it enters and you can just give something +2/+0. Again, I think it's slow, but I think an energy deck in Pauper might like it. Layla, the Blade Reforged, is going up in price because it's going to see play in Modern. Like, a lot of play. 2 in a red for a 2/2 Spirit Warrior, Legendary. Haste. When it attacks, exile the top card of the library. You may play that card this turn. When 1 or more cards are put into your exile from your library and or your graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on Layla. There's ways to make that. Like, you can use the Reckless cards and the clones. I think there's 2 of them. You can run 4 of them, so you're exiling top 2, but you can cast them until the end of your next turn, which is cool. And that'll also buffer. And she has haste, and so she's very aggressive. So I think this is really good for red deck wins. Meltdown is another really good card to get to Modern. X and a red sorcery. Destroy each artifact with mana value X or less. You can just like usually pay 3 and clear the field. It doesn't help you very well. Okay, it can help you with Affinity because you clear out all their small stuff. So now they can't cast their Affinity stuff. So if they spent their turn going, here's all my small things, you can melt down. Maybe you're not main decking this. Maybe turn game 2 you bring this out, but you melt down for like 1, and you clear out all their 0 and 1 drops, including their tokens. So those are all gone, and now they go, crap, I can't Affinity. All I have left in my hand are my big cards that I can't drop because I was like 1 off or something, right? On the other hand, against something like Hammer Time, that's a 1-drop. It's a 1-drop artifact. So you can just clear out all their artifacts for like 2 or 3 mana. Very strong. I love that they're bringing this into Modern as a way to control the game. Meteoric Mace is 4 and 2 red for an artifact equipment. Equip creature gets +4/+0 until end of turn. Equip 4, Cascade. A Cascade deck and Commander will play this. I don't think it'll see play anywhere else. I think it's too expensive. Mogmob. 3 red for a 3/3 Goblin. Sacrifice Mogmob. It deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. This will see play in Goblin decks. I mean, turn 3 dropping this card, passing, swinging in with it. Oh, you're going to block it? Cool. I'm going to sack it. I won't deal damage to the creature anymore, but I will deal 3 damage to the guy's face. Or you can sack it to take care of that 1-drop and the 2 drops over there. Like, it does a lot for red deck wins. I think it's good there. Especially goblins. Molten Gatekeeper is 2 in a red for a 2/3 goblin. Yeah, Golem. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield you control, Molten Gatekeeper deals 1 damage to each opponent. Unearth for a red. I actually think this will see play in Pauper because I think Reckless does, or sorry, Impact Trimmers does, and this is a 2/3 creature. Sure, it's 2 in a red instead of 1 in a red, but a 2/3 creature is something to laugh off in Pauper. Being able to deal damage to each opponent, so you're to your opponent whenever another creature is battlefield is great. And then you can unearth this card even if they pop it to get it back as a 2/3 with haste, and then you can still keep getting more creatures. And unearthing like 3 of these guys late game and going creature, you could win the game. I think this would be really good. I could see this in Modern even as like if you self-mill yourself and then just unearth this guy for like 3 of these guys and cast a few creatures. Like 3 creatures means you just have to get 7 mana out if you haven't dealt 7 creatures out if you haven't dealt damage already. So if you've dealt some damage, you might be able to do like 3 creatures and just win the game. Party Thrashers, 1 in a red for a 1/1 Lizard Wizard. So we have a Lizard Wizard, guys. Non-creature spells you cast from exile have Convoke, which means you can cast them to cast them. Non-creature spell from exile pays 1. Each creature helps. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may discard a card. If you do, exile the top 2 cards of your library, then choose one of them. You may play that card this turn. Okay, so this discards a card, you exile the top 2 and choose one, and then you can your creatures, including Party Thrasher, can help cast it. And I like this card again in that Layla deck, because you're running the Reckless stuff, you're trying to get that. This triggers Layla, giving it a 1/1 counter, and then the stuff you're exiling Layla, you can tap Party Thrasher to help cast. There's a lot going on with that. Phyrexian Ironwork is 2 in a red for an artifact. Whenever you attack, you get an energy, and you can pay 3 energy to make a 3/3 colorless Phyrexian artifact creature token. Activate on as a sorcery. It's not bad. Sorry for that. My headset died, and then it started playing out of my speakers. This should be fine. We'll just finish it up here. You can hear the music most likely. I just can't. Technical difficulties. But yeah, it's okay. I think it's a little slow. Again, like if you're attacking each turn and you're getting enough energy, making a 3/3 Phyrexian Golem isn't bad. I like it more in Commander, like casually just making 3/3 golems each turn. Pinnacle Monk is 3 and 2 red for a 2/2 Jin Monk with prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get a 1/1. It gets +1/+1 until end of turn. When it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to hand. It's a 5-drop. It's too weak. It's too slow. Oh look, it's a 3. I still think this is too weak to play even in Oops All spells. I probably just wouldn't. So it's the reason why it's like not $1, right? So I just wouldn't. I don't like it. Power Balance, 2 red for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you do, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost if the 2 spells have the same mana value. I love this card. I think this is so fun, and I think you will see Lantern Control run it. Instead of Lantern Control being like just blue, it'll probably like be blue-red. And then you can run Power Balance and go like, oh, I'm just going to cast this card. Oh, I'm just going to cast that card. Like, and I think you'll see this played in every red deck in Commander, because like, oh, let's see. Oh, cool, it's a 2-drop. Oh, you cast a 2-drop. Like, you're using this to get card advantage, and it's gross. Oh, you get a land on top? Cool, that's fine. But what are you running in your deck? If you're running Power Balance in red, now you're going to run Top. Guess what? Top is already a good card. Cool. And you're probably going to run the other card that allows you to put your hand on top of your library and stuff, so you can do that more. And guess what? That card is already a good card. So, like, you're running two good cards anyway, just to make Power Balance even better. And guess what? Power Balance by itself is already a good card. So, like, everything about it is great. I could even see it in CEDH possibly, just as a good card advantage if you're, like, running that type of deck. Ral the Implicit Maze and the Implicit Maze is 3 and 2 red for a saga. Chapter 1, Ral the Implicit Maze deals 2 damage to each creature and planeswalker your opponent's control. Good board wipe. It's 5. Got to do more here. Chapter 2, you may discard a card. If you do, exile the top 2 cards of the library. You may play those cards to the end of your next turn. Okay, cool, maybe. Chapter 3, create a Spellgorger weird token. It's a It's a 2 in a red 2/2 weird creature with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on spell gorger weird. I don't like this. I don't like this for any format. I'm just gonna continue moving on. Taral, Moon Monsoon Mage. 1 in a red for a 1/3 human wizard. Instant sorcery spells you cast got 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell during your turn, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, Monsoon Mage deals 1 damage to you. If you win the flip, you may exile Ral. If you do, you may return it to the battlefield transformed. If you do, return it to the battlefield transformed under its own control. Ral, Leyline Prodigy. Sorry, it's hard to read it. The Y is covered up by his hand. 2 loyalty. Ral, Leyline Prodigy into the battlefield with an additional loyalty counter on it for each instant sorcery spell you've cast this turn, which, to be fair, in Modern is probably like 4. Like, not 4, I mean, like, it'll come out as a 4 loyalty. You'll have, like, you'll fail the first one and then you get a second one, okay? So, like, cool, it's 4. +1, until your next turn, instant sorcery spell is cast, costs 1 less to cast, which is the same thing as this other side. -2, it deals 2 damage divided as you choose among any 1 or 2 targets. Draw a card for if you control blue permanent other than Ral, and you probably will. So this card's fine to just kind of go, let's just pop that and draw a card. And -8, exile the top 8 cards of the library. You may cast instant sorcery spells from among the cards this turn without paying their mana cost. I don't know. I don't think it's great. I think, okay, what I like about this card is if there's a deck that I would already be running a reduced instant and sorcery spell, I might just slot this guy in instead, and then, oh look, it transformed. I'm just going to plus it to get that stuff. And then also, I might be able to -2 it to remove something, draw a card, and if it ever got to 8, cool. But it's hard to get to 8. I don't know. I think the decks trying to run it are probably, like, actively pushing to just go, are actively pushing to, I wanted to see the other, okay. I think that side's, yeah. They're actively pushing to try to get you to, like, oh look, I stormed off and then dealt myself some damage and flipped him, and now I'm just going to -8 and win the game. Like, if you can do that in Modern, cool. More power to you. You can just win the game then. As a commander, it's also boring. I've built it, and literally it's the same thing. Just flip it. You take very long turns. Reckless Pyro Surfer is 1 in a red for a 2/2 human scout. Landfall. Whenever land is the battlefield under control, Reckless Pyrofaster gains Battle Cry until your end of turn, which is kind of interesting because it buffs everything, but I think it's a little slow for what I wanted to do in Modern. And with that being said, I mean, maybe in Commander where, like, you can just a land falls and then you have Battle Cry and you can just buff all your little tokens. And you can do that the turn it comes out on turn 2, so. Or I guess turn 3. Yeah. Reiterating Bolt is 1 in a red for a sorcery. Replicate, pay 3 energy. You may cast this. When you cast a spell, you may copy it each time you played its replicate cost. You may choose new targets for its copy. It does 3 damage to target creature planeswalker. This is another decent board creature removal, but it's sorcery, so I don't like it in Modern. I think it's a little slow. And you don't gain energy from it, so I don't really love it in the energy deck. Sarpedon Simulacrum is a red for a 1/1 artifact creature golem. Haste, 3 in a red. Sacrifice, it does 4 damage to target creature. Maybe Popper likes it as, like, an aggressive card. It comes down turn 1, starts swinging at people, and then, like, if there's a problematic card on turn 4, you can pop it. But I don't know. I don't love it. Seed Smash is 1 in a red for an instant, split second. Choose 1, destroy target artifact, or target creature gets +3/+2 and gains trample to end of turn. I like this card just because it stops them from doing things, but I kind of like it best in CDH. I don't think it'll see play there, but like in CDH, because everyone likes to do this huge stack, you could go cast a spell, hold priority, cast Seed Smash. I think you can hold priority. to cast a spell, and then split second prevents them from casting stuff. So I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but maybe. Skoa Ember Mage. People at my LGS don't get the point that this is a common legend, and I mean the first common legend. They're like, there's always been common legends. I'm like, no, there hasn't. There's never been a common legend before this guy. Okay? There have been uncommon legends, and there have been legendaries that are common to see, but this is the first common rarity legend. It's 4 and 2 red for a 4/4 Goblin Wizard, legendary creature. When it enters the battlefield, it does 4 damage to any target, and it has Grandeur. Discard another card named Skoa Ember Mage. Sacrifice 2 mountains to deal 4 damage to any target. I kind of want to see this in, like, Pauper. I don't think you will, but, like, if you could get this out, it's kind of interesting, because, like, you can then discard another one and sack to your land, deal 4 damage to any target, probably your opponent, and then do it again, and really get that push. I made a stupid version of Commander running this card that I might show off at some point, but probably when I do a review on the deck. So, but yeah, I like it. I think it's such a unique thing that we finally got a common rarity legend. First time a legend could ever be playing Pauper, which is why I kind of want to see it there. Smelted Charge Bug is 1 in a red for 1/3 insect with menace, and when it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. And when it attacks, you may pay energy. If you do, another target attacking creature gets +1/+0 and gains menace until the turn. Again, maybe you might see it in Pauper energy. Like, it comes in, you get 2 energy, which isn't bad. And then being able to give another one of your creatures who's attacking menace and then an extra damage isn't bad either, but not great. Sundering Eruption is 2 in a red. For a sorcery, destroy target land. Its controller switches sniper for a basic land card, puts it in the battlefield tab, then shuffle. Creatures with flying can't block this turn. Again, that does a lot for 3, but, like, it's not great. But being able to then be a land, but you have to pay 3 to have it come untapped, isn't bad either. So they're both just, like, okay cards, right? Like, Modal, do you want a land, or do you want to just pop a land? Do you want it to be a land, or pop a land? And popping the land is actually pretty interesting, because you do just get to pop their bad land, their like mono-fixing land, and then they get a non-mono-fixing land. Thriving Skyclaw is 2 and 2 red for a 3/2 cat dragon with flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy. And when it attacks, you can pay 3 energy. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on it. I don't love this for Modern. It's 4, but maybe Pauper wants it. I don't even think. Well, it's 85 cents. Maybe people think about it in Pauper. I don't know. I guess, yeah, it's decent on turn 4. I don't love it though. Unstoppable Amulet is 1 in a red for a artifact. When it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy, and whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than hand, it does 1 damage to each opponent. And then tap it, pay 2 energy, exile the top card of your library. You may play it until you exile another card named Unstable Amulet. I think I tried this in the deck. Yeah, I tried 4 of these, mainly because it is card advantage. And when you cast a spell from anywhere, it does 1 damage to each opponent, so that does help to, like, slowly drain your opponent's life. But yeah, like, you can pay 2, exile top card of the library. You may play it until you exile another card with Unstable Amulet. But multiple of these give you multiple cards, and you can just kind of use them to get more card advantage out. So, Wheel of Potential, I hate it. I do 2 in a red for a sorcery, you get 3 energy. Then you may pay X energy. Each player may exile their hand and draw X cards. If X is 7 or more, you may play cards you own exiled this way until your end of your next turn. So the idea is, like, it's like, yeah, you can just wheel, you get the 3, so X is going to be 3 if you're not running an energy deck. So then each player exiles his hand and draws 3 cards. And then the next turn, draws 3 cards. Yeah, you get to draw 3 cards. And then, like, that's the 3 cards. Like, they lose their hand. Their hand is gone. Everyone's hand is gone. If you were to pay more energy, if you were to pay 7 energy, meaning, oh, here's my cat, guys. Meaning, like, if you were to play Yeah, if you were playing an energy deck and you could pay 7 energy, you can then play the cards you own from exile, and everyone's getting 7 cards. This card's great with like Narset. Just make it so that your opponent only draws 1. So that's not a bad idea. And then you get 3. So like interesting idea there, but I like this maybe in an energy deck. Like, if you can get a lot of energy, you could really make your opponents suffer. Like, oh, I'm going to draw 20 cards here because I had 20 energy. So, maybe there's some point to this. Maybe there's not. Some people are thinking there's a spot for it, and there probably is. I just don't know where. Maybe just in a Narset deck. And that's it. That's the red cards. Let me know what your favorite red card from the set is. What card you think is going to be the best down below in the doobly-doo. Other than that, everyone have a great day. Next time it's going to be the green cards. Peace.